Hey guys, so this is my first vlog of my new YouTube channel. I kind of wanted to create this because I'm really into beauty and fashion and makeup and stuff, so yeah, I think just a whole lot of this channel is going to be that.
Lara used to be a normal girl. An ordinary girl who lived in London with her father, an only child who lost her mom when she was 3 years old to an unspecified accident. She graduated from college in biology, sociology, and English studies, but until she decides if she's going back to school, she's been working at her father's company, and she's a gamer with a cat named Tally.
I also have a cat. Oh, this is Tally, so she is 5 years old.
She seems like any other directionless young person, unsure of what she wants or where to even start to find that out. The channel's content reflects Lara's uncertainty. In Vlog 12, shown next, Lara is dressed up but never ends up editing or publishing the recording.
Hey guys, so you probably know me from school. What is up, everyone? Guys, it's Lara here, that girl from school.
After struggling to do her intro, Lara goes online to read through discussions regarding a game's recent update, and as she does, Sophie's intro music can be heard playing from her computer. She apologizes for the advert, giving us no further information, and doesn't seem to recognize it at all. The rest of the unedited footage is generally unexciting. However, the stranger does encounter an image of particular interest near the end of the video.
Just a lot of things going on there. Yeah, I definitely like it for the most part, but I need to get better.
A glitch featuring Sophie and Plum as they're boarding the private jet. And the upload date of the private video looks oddly familiar as well. Upon examination, we can see that February 13th, 2020 was actually the same day that Sophie released the trailer for her channel. The order, or lack thereof, in which the stranger plays Lara's catalog of videos is a direct indication of just how muddied the timeline will soon become. Unless Lara gave him instructions that we aren't privy to, there appears to be little rhyme or reason for when the vlogs are viewed sequentially or not. The channel's next upload, titled Lara 2 MP4, is a prime example of the unconventional format in which the stranger decided to present Lara's footage. Vlog 9 is short, but foreboding. The footage mainly shows Lara in the mirror's reflection as she sits on the floor in the dark, focused intently on her screen as she plays a game on her phone. When Lara moves over to her computer chair, she's close enough that we can hear her saying different variations of "that's dope" or "that's so dope" over and over again, seemingly unaware that she's being recorded. Lara withdraws from the bedroom after being called downstairs by who we can assume is her father, leaving the bedroom dark and the camera still rolling.
Lara, are you coming down?
Yeah, one sec.
So, just a few months after starting her YouTube channel, Hand of Hate is already with Lara and beginning to infect her life. What's curious though is Lara didn't seem to be aware that this recording existed. So, unless she decided to upload the video to YouTube after finding the file on her computer, that would beg the question of who did? I have reason to believe that the answer to that question is hate. Earlier in the series, we encountered a similar video that didn't appear to be uploaded by the channel's owner, who, at the time, was Sophie. If we revisit Sophie's last vlog, where she and Ben attempt to flee from Mark and hate, there's nothing to suggest that Sophie would have been able to upload the footage to YouTube. When fans took the title of that video, which was the one that had the string of supposedly random numbers, and applied a simple A1Z26 cipher to it, they found that the numbers translated to the word algorithm. Hand of hate is an algorithm. Or conversely, the algorithm gave birth to hate. Either way, this would explain hate's pervasive presence and his ability to digitally manipulate or affect things in both Sophie and Lara's lives. And it would stand to reason that hate could infect other people as well. There's no one there that the stranger can see. Eerily, it looks almost as if he's inside Lara's bedroom. It's hard to tell for sure, but how the doors opened with the hall outside looks incredibly similar to the shots we've seen with Lara. A bit shaken and hesitant to turn away, the stranger does eventually return to the screen and proceeds to select Vlog 2.
So thank you so much for watching my last video. Obviously it didn't get like that many views, but you know that's fine because it's more about what the person has to say rather than the numbers. So this video I kind of wanted to do more of a Magicka-based Skyrim video, and then this happened. Basically I kind of just wanted to do one of those videos where you can see me playing whilst also the video game plays out, if that makes sense, except without having to use OBS because like that didn't.
So if you just go ahead and try and sync that up, then in post I'll give you a hand with that later on, if that's alright.
Yeah, so that was a disaster. So today I've decided to kind of do a makeup tutorial, and it's going to be a smoky eye. And I know what you're thinking, it's been done before, but I promise it's...
For the most part, the vlog is exactly what Lara described. A smoky eye makeup tutorial that she works through while chatting about her life. When the look is complete, we can see it's a slightly rougher version of Sophie's makeup in her channel trailer. One of the hairstyles Lara even recommends to complement the look is slicked back, which was also the way Sophie had hers styled as well, and coincidentally, how Lara's dressed during her dramatic takeover. As Lara's wrapping up her vlog and thanking her viewers, she receives a mysterious email from an unknown source who has a playthrough request for a game called The Guide to Being Young, Rich, and Powerful. Lara makes a joke that everyone should be playing that game before finishing her outro and ending her video. And it doesn't even take Lara very long to try the game, but it's not for a lack of content ideas. In her next vlog, Lara informs us that what started as a simple request has become somewhat of a demand.
Without having my own money, I've just kind of been like missing out on a lot of things. But anyway, stupid stuff. You're probably wondering why I'm in the dark. To be honest, so am I. I've basically been getting this email over and over again. To be honest, probably more than 10 times at least. And it's basically somebody telling me to do this, play this game, like a player walkthrough thing with it. Actually, I'll just go what it says. So they said, "Yo Lara, hope you're good. I saw this game today and thought you could make a video on it. It's a game about the new queen of YouTube. You can flex a Lambo, call yourself a businesswoman, spend your dad's money, love your content, bro, play in the dark." Yeah, it's been anonymously sent, and I've got this link up here. So why not? So yeah, thank you for sending that in, anonymous emailer. You're probably my only viewer, to be honest, so appreciate that. Yeah, so why not? Let's just get into it.
Things have been kind of tough for Lara as of late, and YouTube has clearly become something of an escape for her, even if she hasn't gained the traction she'd like to see. So she actually appreciates the anonymous emailer's persistence. After getting herself ready and opening the game on her computer, Lara begins to play The Guide to Being Young, Rich, and Powerful.
The Guide to Being Young, Rich, and Powerful. Stop. Oh, yeah, stop. IAmSophie. Oh, young, popular, talented. Something weird is glitching there. I am a friend. Something keeps glitching. Oh my god, a daughter. I don't know why that keeps... A sister. It just said open on the... And it might look like I got it pretty easy. Okay. But this, something keeps glitching between all these crazy things. Private jets, fast cars, beautiful friends. It's still so creepy. They made me think. Am I happy? Oh, when you're in the middle of a hurricane, you don't get to stop and look around and realise. It's like a girl in the background or something. Am I being real? Am I being... I feel nervous. Me. Okay, there's clearly just like a girl flashing again on the back there. Okay, so we've got... So it says, I'm Sophie, is that really cringe? Should I do that again? I've never actually uploaded a vlog before, but my good friend Ben has been making videos for like ever, and they're absolute fire. And then the little person is walking down, which must be Sophie. Okay. I don't know whether to move that way. And I thought, just why not show people what it's like to be me? Okay, so that must be Ben. First and foremost,
Sophie is the playable character, and Lara's progressing through a much darker, far more sinister version of Sophie's first vlog. The game, its dialogue, is almost exactly the same as the video, including all of Sophie's bougie mannerisms and every time she used the word like. However, unlike the vlog, this game contains some very disturbing themes and imagery, such as references to a decapitated horse. Lara is growing visibly uncomfortable, but with no other option, she's forced to enter the mansion. Just like in the vlog, the first location she's brought to is the library, but she is able to interact with the environment for the first time to go and look around the room.
Okay, so I guess I can look around this room. Ben's just following. There are so many old books on the shelves. Cicero and Homer. You read a passage. Okay. Verily she hath 12 feet all dangling down, and 6 necks exceeding long, and on each a hideous head, and therein 3 rows of teeth set thick and close, full of black death.
A pattern begins to emerge as the in-game Sophie sprite introduces other parts of her house. Initially, each room is described exactly the same as they were in the vlog. However, as Lara progresses through the game, she continues to encounter altered or added details that are grotesque and perturbing.
Just bring a boy here and like cuddle. It's like super romantic. Okay. Why not? Have a tea and boys. The fireplace is filled with wet and rotting wood, blackened by fires that have not burned in decades. Okay, that's weird. My heart's racing. This is one of my favourite parts of the house. This is the conservatory. Oh, look at these plants. So dope. Cool. I don't really know where I can go in this part. The flowers smell like rancid meat and stomach acid. That's horrible. Something glitched again. I don't know what that was. It's like super wholesome and like country living vibes. Okay. Nature like really makes you feel at one with yourself and stuff. Like, just makes me like super chill and like meditative, just looking at plants and grass and like dead pigeons. Oh, gross. Oh, Sophie's changed outfit. How long is that? There's a weird sound. There's a jet. Amber. Hell. Okay. Where am I going now? So here we have the cream leather seats. It's from a human and their skin is meant to be a lot softer, so it's really comfortable. What? Who wrote this? This is my dad. Shows photo of sinners being burned at the stake. He literally grew $1 million empire from nothing, like... What?
The scene on the private jet ends after Ben has backed away from Sophie in horror, and the plane crashes.
It's shaking off. It's really weird. Oh my god, it crashed. It just crashed. What's happening?
When the game abruptly kicks Lara back to the main menu after Sophie's training session with Lewis, she's confused. However, this is consistent with the endpoint of Sophie's first video. Vlog 3 ends as well, with the remainder of Lara's playthrough taking place in Vlog 4. The second part of the game starts out relatively normally, with Lara reading some of the lines that we heard back in the intro for Sophie's Rich Girl Lives on £10 for a Day video, before we see the scene in the garden where Sophie introduced the challenge. It's at this point that the game begins to behave strangely.
I got no eyes. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be an interesting day because we're doing a money challenge. The whole day I have this £10 note to spend. Do you think I'll spend it all? I don't know what it wants me to do here. I want you to answer my question. Okay, maybe I can do that if there's somewhere to click to move the game forward. Quit, Lara? Yes or no? What? Oh. Yes? No, it will be fine. £10 is a lot of money. It's like 10,000 pennies. Today is also the launch of my fashion label YRP.
In-game Sophie has started to address Lara by name and is engaging her in conversation. When the Sophie sprite is in the car with Plum, she even says to Lara that her color would be black too.
Lara, your color would be black too. So this is our studio for today. We were meant to be in the big one, but my manager booked us into the wrong room. So we're gonna have to make do with this one.
At the photo shoot, the male model is lying in a pool of... and Sophie asks Lara if they should make do with a smaller room, to which Lara says yes. And so the game continues, to Lara's intensifying horror.
It's about how you express yourself, not who you are, that really matters. Lara, who are you? I'm Lara. So what we're gonna do today is shoot a bunch of dope stuff to make an ad for my clothing line, which should be ready by the time this video goes up. Sophie looks at Ben in horror, Ben stares through Sophie into the nothingness behind her. Wherever you are in the world, good afternoon, good morning, good night. Where are you, Lara? I'm at home. Where is home? I think it's all about breeds success, and success is power. Like, without them, I wouldn't be doing what I am today. I take a quite spiritual approach to everything in life. Lara, do you take a spiritual approach to everything in life? Not everything? Will you take a spiritual approach to everything in life? Okay.
As the Ben and Sophie sprites sit at the patio table, and Ben brings up that she failed the 10-pound challenge, a new sprite has Sophie's pink suit on, but this character is a brunette. It's Lara, from when we first met her, and she stole Sophie's life. The Lara sprite follows Sophie and Plum in-game as they board the private jet for their trip to Europe. Her character moves along the edge of the pool, watching Sophie and Plum swim from afar.
Here we go. Sophie laughs and splashes water towards Plum's lifeless corpse. How do you like this place, Lara? Come on, Lara, speak out. How do you like this place? You're not bored of staying at home waiting for your daddy to come home. Fuck. What is this? Don't be scared now. Remember positivity, positivity, breathe. Don't understand. Who are you, Lara?
Listen to me really carefully, okay? You need to stop playing that game. You've just got to stop playing the game immediately. Don't go on it. Don't play it anymore. Send it over to me, and I'll try to deal with it.
Okay.
After the friend, who Lara had previously sought out for technical assistance, instructs her to stop playing the game immediately, saying he will look into it, text appears on the screen that reads, "I can see you too." Whatever it is that's sentient within the game, be it hate or something else, is already aware of who Lara's speaking to, and it appears to have taken offense to his advice for her. The next video uploaded to the channel has the same title as the text, "I can see you too," and its description reads, "Now she will know what you are not." For a split second, just a moment, the image of the stranger who's been showing us Lara's vlogs is shown on screen before the video cuts. And here the stranger is finally before us, dancing in a room plastered in flamingo wallpaper and drinking heavily. The stranger was the friend who Lara was speaking to on the phone, and who's been uploading her vlogs to what used to be Sophie's channel for us to see. It's unclear where in the timeline this recording takes place, but at the moment, the man doesn't seem to be doing very well.
Oh. Hello. You alright, mate? Yeah. I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Smashing it. As you can see, I'm in a room full of fucking flamingos, man. What's happened? Do you want to know why I did it? Why I covered my whole fucking room in flamingo wallpaper, flamingo plush toys, flamingos on the fucking headboard over there? I'm sure you will know, mate. I'm sure you will know. Flamingos, like yourself, are supposed to keep you safe in the eye of a hurricane. Where am I now? You know? Drinking this fucking shit beer, talking to you. You don't really talk back, do you? You don't really make much of a response, but can't really stay mad at you, can I? No. Alright.
Clearly intoxicated, he continues to drink alone and talk to the flamingo, venting out all his frustrations to an empty room.
Do you know what? Do you know what else bothers me about all this, right? I spend all my time trying to help people. They message me like, "Oh, can you help me with this?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, no, I'd help you. I'll help you. Whatever you want, I'll help you, free of charge." You know, where's it got me? In a room full of flamingos for some reason. You know, obviously smashing it, but come on, this is ridiculous, right? And what did I expect? You know, you can't go for a drink, but I've got to be around to help you. You're not free to go for a drink with me, but as soon as you message me to help you out, I'll jump to do it. I'll gladly do it. But no, you can't go for a drink because I'm a fucking pathetic loser.
It's hard to imagine that this last bit was about anyone other than Lara. For almost the entire time that we've known her, Lara has been constantly going to this friend for his help. The recorded message in which Lara begs him to watch all the discs and apologizes for seeking his assistance yet again, when she wanted to set up her YouTube live streams, and when she was terrified and hysterical after playing the YRP game. For lack of a better word, he's been friend-zoned, and he's become, not unfairly, very bitter about the situation. After an indeterminate length of time, when he's lying in bed, probably on the verge of falling into a drunken sleep, he gets a Skype call. The man gets up to decline the call, but his frustration only grows when the same person then reaches out to him in text. Fortuitously, however, it's because of this caller's insistence that we finally learn the man's name. Simon.
Not gonna pick that up, mate. Nah. Fucking nightmare. Honestly, 10 to 3 in the morning. I'm trying to have a fucking drink. Just relax. For 5 seconds. Oh, for fuck's sake. What do you want now? Alright, Simon. What are you up to? I'm smashing it, mate. When you finish smashing it, I've got something I think I need your help with. For fuck's sake. I've got something I think I need your help with. This is what I mean, mate. It's always them asking me to help them, isn't it?
The same Mark, who Sophie said she'd attended school with, and who would later break into the mansion ranting about worms laying eggs in his brain, is calling on Simon to ask for his help, much to the latter's visible irritation. After considering it for a while and getting himself another drink, Simon figures he can at least get some more information before he makes a final decision.
Alright, mate. What have you got? An absolutely mad malware. Some sort of data digging code hidden inside a game. Do you want to have a crack at it? What do you think I should do? Yeah? I thought you'd say that. Alright, mate. Send it over.
After debating with the unresponsive Flamingo, Simon concedes and begrudgingly tells Mark to send him the game. Mark thanks him, annoying Simon even more, and leaves the conversation to send everything over. Simon opens the game but only looks at it briefly before proceeding to do something he can never take back.
Come on then, Mark. Let's see what you've just sent me now. Right. The Guide to Being Young, Rich and Powerful. It's an interesting hook. Right. Yo, Lara. Hope you're doing alright. I got sent a game today and I thought you could make a video on it. It's a game about the new queen of YouTube.
Now she will know what you are not. Simon, who's supposed to care about Lara and be her friend, is the one who anonymously sent her the very game that would leave her terrified and distraught. Judging by his post to X, he regrets it deeply. He knows that, ultimately, it was his actions that brought Lara to where she is now.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Who are you?
Hello? I am Sophie. Young, popular, talented. I am a friend, a daughter, a sister.
What do you want?
What do you want?
Horrifically, we learn that whoever purchased YRP merch ends up removing their own eyes, a fact later confirmed on Sophie's old Instagram account, where photos sent in by fans of them wearing merch were displayed with scratch marks over their eyes. And, as Lara watches in horror, right when she's at the peak of her distress, she hears voices in the hall just outside her bedroom door.
Yeah, but what's in it? I don't know. I don't. Sherlock, Sophie creeping in to blow up the whole scene. Yeah, should we go downstairs and like investigate that? Moving on as backup, detective, let's brief. You know, I've got like some really tight lemonade downstairs that I made for you guys. Do you not want to try it? Elementary, my dear, once and pack me up. No! Can you just go downstairs? Let me just go downstairs. Okay. Calm down, yeah?
What is happening?
When she goes to go outside, there is no exit. It's blocked by a wall that shouldn't exist. And for the first time, we're witnessing Lara and Sophie's timelines converge, leading us to a major revelation. The real Lara was the source of the noise in Sophie's vlog about her crazy stalker. We see more shots of a hysterical Lara. The sprite Sophie can be seen observing her crying, other fans who purchased merch taking their own lives, and then the video ends. For over a week, we were left wondering what happened to Lara and if she was okay. but there would be no answer. Not for 11 days, when Simon would finally upload another video to the channel which contained the next vlog.
Hey guys, sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. I've just been trying to kind of take some time away from being online and stuff. It's made me feel quite detached from things.
It's been over a month since Lara's
And
live stream,
I've been kind
and
of doing a lot of
sitting in the communal garden
wandering
under the wash of
recently,
sunlight,
and
it does seem like she's doing a
things haven't
tiny
really
bit
felt
better.
right
But
in a
appearances
while.
soon fall away, and the tone becomes very
So,
somber
I've
as
been trying
Lara
to get out of
reveals
my
the
room,
struggles
as
she's
you can
been
see.
enduring since we last saw her.
Because even though it's a place where I can kind of be myself and stuff, it's felt quite tilted. Like it's dragging and weighing me into this weird direction. It's just made me feel quite like sick and muddled. It's like the air is thick, like there's something mixed with it that just makes it feel quite fat. So yeah, I'm out here trying to kind of dispel that. I've tried talking to my dad about it, but he's very tactical at changing the subject. Or he's just not interested. He's like, fresh air can cure anything, Lara. So here I am in the communal garden trying to do that.
Lara reveals that her father lost his job and hasn't been overly inclined to talk with Lara about her feelings or anxieties, which has only added to the tension at home and consequently compounded Lara's feelings of uneasiness. So she's sitting in the garden, as per her father's recommendation, trying to sort out her thoughts by herself.
I feel nauseous and odd. Kind of like the fat air from the tilted room has just seeped down and it makes me feel cold inside.
She's also been experiencing a bizarre reoccurring dream that sounds absolutely haunting, but Lara speaks of it almost fondly.
I've been having really bizarre dreams as well. And they're the same each time. So I'll be lying in my bed in the middle of the night, asleep, and then I'll feel something at the end of my bed, like sink into the mattress. But I'm not afraid, so I sit up and there's this man in a suit, and he's got something wrong with his face, but I can't figure out what, and he's like caressing my feet really softly and gently and like lovingly. And then he slowly points to the corner of the room, and there's this like crouched figure in the shadows, and unlike the man in the suit, the figure makes me feel really threatened, and like it gives me that spiral feeling in my stomach. And then the man tells me not to worry, and then I ask him if any of this is real, and he starts to open his mouth really wide, like unnaturally wide, almost like he's trying to smile, and then I wake up. And the weirdest thing is the feeling I get when I look at the figure is the same feeling I get in the tilted room. And there's a big part of me that wants to accept it and let it in and kind of see where it takes me.
There's a man in a suit, and there's something wrong with his face. Lara has been dreaming of hate, and so far, the only figure we've seen crouched in a corner has been Plum. And if that was Plum she was seeing in her dreams, it would mean that Lara's bedroom, that has become the tilted room, has become synonymous with the room from the glitches. Instead of scaring her, though, as it did Sophie, Lara is intrigued by where hate could lead her. Hand of Hate makes Lara feel safe and loved. Hate makes her feel worthy of attention, and as Lara sleeps and dreams her dream, Sophie's in-game voice can be heard thanking her for her sacrifices.
For your innocence. Thank you for your eyes. Thank you for your voice. Thank you for your memories. Thank you for your future. Thank you for your hate. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your life. Now, do you feel your head swelling? Do you feel it oozing? We're nearly there now, Lara, while everyone is watching.
Lara wants Sophie's life so badly that she's willing to give up everything she holds dear to achieve it, including the insinuation that she may have done something horrible to her cat Tally as an offering to hate and the YRP game. At the end of the video, there's a reference to a plane crash that becomes a significant detail later on, but for now, there's a lot in the vlog that is still very much open to interpretation. What is clear is that Lara is headed down a path that she may never be able to return from. She's allowing the game to consume her life, as we soon discover that there's a YRP mobile game she's downloaded on her phone, very likely being the same game we saw her playing obsessively in the dark during an earlier upload.
Do you wish to continue, Lara?
Yes.
Hey Lara! Welcome back to our channel. Today is going to be an interesting day because we are doing a money challenge. Today, I want you to steal £10 from your dad.
I don't think I can do that. It's not really, a good time.
No, it'll be fine. £10 isn't a lot of money. It's like 10,000 pennies.
Okay, Sophie. Okay.
But today's also...
Lara has become completely devoted to the game and to hate. Despite looking hollow and exhausted, Lara immediately answers when summoned by the Sophie sprite. There isn't much resistance from Lara, who barely protests before agreeing to participate in the challenge. One could almost be led to believe that the game has been wearing her down. The upload date of this video was October 13th, wasn't it? In a split second before the frame tightens and cuts off the date, we can see that it backtracks to August 31st. August 31st being the day that Lara recorded her vlog in the communal garden and seemed to be struggling with the decision of whether or not to embrace the tilted room and, by proxy, hate. If this new vlog does in fact take place on the same day, that would mean Lara had made her decision. She returned to the tilted room, downloaded YRP Mobile on her phone, and played the game, which has brought Lara to where she is now, stealing a £10 note from her father's wallet before returning upstairs to her bedroom to await her next instruction from Sophie.
Burn it.
What?
Burn it.
Burn what?
No, it'll be fine. £10 isn't a lot of money. It's like 10,000 pennies.
Lara is slowly starting to look more and more like the kind of person who could become the triumphant woman we saw in the tilted room, reveling in her victory over the former queen of YouTube. She already looks like she's done some deplorable things trying to turn her dream into a reality. So, for many, It felt like a natural progression in Lara's character development, at this point, that is, until they saw what would become the last video ever uploaded to the channel. I Can See You All.
Hello, and welcome to Ceteus Industries. My name is Howard Moore, and this is your induction. Over the course of your employment, you will acquire the tools harnessed by our staff to change the lives of thousands of men around the globe. With our ever-developing unique system, Ceteus Industries is delivering a product so that our 24/7 support staff is crucial to our ongoing success and confidentiality. So from here, our head of production, Chloe, will get you settled. But for now, on behalf of the company, myself, and our future, thank you and welcome.
So there's a lot to unpack here so far. An unknown man is watching an onboarding tape for a company called Ceteus Industries. The company uses a logo that has a design very similar to the one Sophie uses in her videos, and seems to produce some sort of artificial companionship for lonely men. We are informed that the rest of the training will be led by Ceteus Industries' head of production, briefly introduced as a woman named Chloe, which just so happens to be the same name as Sophie's manager. And finally, a graphic shot of Simon is shown, lying on the floor, and not moving, as the song Pop Goes the Weasel plays in the background. Though we don't see Simon like this for long, it seems unlikely he's still alive. There's just too much damage. But we aren't given any more time or information to figure out what's happened to him before the video cuts to a familiar face.
Hi Simon, that's okay, I just popped on myself. So, how's it going? Things are really stacking up. We've had a ton of orders out of the blue recently, which is no bad thing. As you probably know, Mark's up to his eyeballs. So, what's up? I'm just gonna say it. I was kind of hoping you were calling to ask for your old job back.
Not exactly. I had something else I wanted to talk to you about. I need to put an...
Is that so? And you couldn't go to Mark?
That's why I thought you could help me out, and I wouldn't have to go to him and, you know.
So, what's it for?
It's something I've been working on, Chloe, and I can't really...
What are you after?
Blonde hair, blue eyes, preferably tall and slim.
All the classics.
I've actually got a reference photo that I could send you. I've got some key phrases that I'd like you to embed too, along with those personality traits. I'll send that with the photo in the email, and I need it to be as exact as you can get it.
As best as your code can, Simon.
Yeah. I want to call her Sophie.
Sophie. Okay. Sophie.
Simon was once employed by Ceteus Industries. The Chloe we first met as Sophie's manager is actually the company's head of production, and Mark is currently an employee there as well, but his role is never specified. Simon was the one who created the algorithm that Ceteus Industries uses to create its best products, and Simon would later go on to place an order for a model that uses a reference photo of Sophie. Since the vlog was uploaded on November 20th, Simon would have been aware of the YRP game, its Sophie sprite, and how much damage the game had done to Lara, so it's unclear what sort of project he could have possibly been using a Sophie model for, especially when he has all the prior knowledge and guilt of sending the game to Lara in the first place. However, this is assuming that Simon's order was made on the 20th of November, except for there's no way for us to know for sure, because there's another time jump. November 20th, 2019 becomes February 20th, 2020, And if that rings a bell, it's because that would be the day that Sophie uploaded her first official vlog to YouTube, which is all the more confusing when we see the next part of this video, which shows vlog 8, and can see that that video was originally dated for November 1st. According to the time jump, this vlog was created on June 2nd, 2019, well before Simon placed his order to Chloe through Ceteus Industries, but it's also the day of Lara's first vlog. I think a lot of people were generally satisfied with their overall understanding of the IAmSophie series, its characters, and the direction it was headed until they saw the final I Can See You All upload. This video turned the entire universe of everything we thought we knew on its head, and there was never going to be another that could have tied all the loose ends together. And then we also have the problem of the lost media. YouTube took down the latest video, which means I'm more fucked than I was before. Vlog 11 might die with Pop Goes the Weasel. Over 2 weeks before the final upload, YouTube pulled a video which contained Vlog 11 from the IAmSophie channel for violating the TOS. The fans who were able to see it before its removal gave a description of what they saw, which relayed some pretty horrific details, such as the confirmation that Lara did indeed sacrifice her cat Tally to hate and the YRP game. The tweet regarding the lost vlog would be the last communication we'd ever receive from Simon before his death, but that doesn't mean that the account was dormant. A short clip of Simon, posthumously, was included in a tweet announcing the final I Can See You All video that was set to premiere on the IAmSophie YouTube channel. And, subsequent to its release, the profile picture on X was changed to the image of Simon, but with a red cross mark over his eye. And now, the landscape of the IAmSophie universe has drastically changed, and has been permanently altered. Lara has devoted herself to Sophie, hate, and the YRP game. Simon is dead, and so is the channel. There would be no activity across any of the social media accounts until almost 6 months later, when someone new took over on X. Allow me to introduce to you my most despised character in this whole series, Max and his extreme pranks. Thankfully, as it was later revealed to be a failed tangent or spin-off, if you will, we have the luxury of skimming over this little arc. For all his abrasiveness and ego, Max functions purely as a means to tie up loose ends and resolve some lingering questions surrounding the series' lack of je ne sais quoi denouement. By and large, the most important takeaway from Max's induction to the IAS universe is that he is the one who took Simon's life. In a video posted to his own YouTube channel, Max Stream Pranks, we can see just how little provocation was needed to incite Max to murder.
Can you watch where you're going, please? Open your fucking eyes.
Max would thankfully only upload 2 videos to his channel, the second of which was clearly intended to continue the story, but was ultimately never pursued further. It's still up on his channel if you're so inclined, but I really can't stand Max, and in my mind, this video exists now for the sole purpose of reinforcing imagery and symbolism that was referenced earlier in the series. Which finally, and blessedly, takes us away from the Max section and into the dissection portion of our analysis. Before we can get to the meat and bones of the story, I want to highlight some of the imagery used throughout the series. Like an entomologist carefully pinning a butterfly to the board, the extraneous wonders of the corporeal form are integral to deepening our understanding of its delicate innards, starting with the eyes. Eyes represent the online attention. Views, especially hate views, are what drive the algorithm, but they also serve as in-game currency. Viewership is a measure of success. The fans who removed their own eyes were symbolically offering their watch time, their clicks, their engagement. In the online world, whether you're viewed with envy or disdain, eyes are valued above all else. It's not a coincidence that the man-eating monster Scylla, who's been alluded to several times by now, was born out of bitter jealousy as well. During her tour of the mansion, Sophie mentions that Homer and Cicero can be found in the family library. In the YRP game, Lara read a passage from Homer's The Odyssey, which described the fearsome mythological sea creature Scylla.
Verily she hath 12 feet all dangling down, and 6 necks exceeding long, and on each a hideous head, and therein 3 rows of teeth set thick and close, full of black death.
There are a few iterations of how Scylla came to be the monster that sailors dreaded to encounter, but in every account, Scylla was envied by another. In the Homeric tales, Scylla was loved by a sea god that the sorceress Circe wanted for herself. In a callous move to eliminate her competition, Circe bewitched the water in which Scylla would bathe, transforming her into a horrific monstrosity cursed to roam Mediterranean waters and attacking sailors if they passed too close to her. In the Odyssey, Odysseus is actually warned by Circe to avoid another monster in the same strait, Charybdis, and speed past Scylla, who would pose a lesser threat to his passage. When we see the AI Sophie in the last video, not only is the original human Sophie's face superimposed in flashes over the avatars, but we also see other images as well that all somehow relate to Scylla, confirming that indeed the two are the same through this metaphor. Transformed by the algorithm, Sophie has become a vicious, uncontrollable monster that devours those who once adored her, and thrives on the hateful attention of others. Her disfigurement was only complete when she became one with Lara and her envy.
So the missing Lara vlog, there was one that we never saw. I think it was number 11. I was wondering if there was anything in that we would have gotten more into her character or her situation and stuff like that.
So just to be honest, you know, the actual ending of that vlog was something that I really wanted to film with Emily and BB together, because it was the transcendence of them into one, which ultimately you see at the end of the horror house show. So it was supposed to be a sort of moment of coming together and becoming one, if you will. So it was this idea that ultimately, you know, if that's kind of who you want to be, everyone becomes the same thing and nothing is interesting. And that was kind of the ending of vlog 11, essentially, was going to be them coming together and you know, you see that in the profile picture in the poster of IAmSophie. It's them sort of combined and becoming one. So that was the ending.
There are many other insights to be gleaned from the interview with the cast and crew, such as learning that the man who was watching the onboarding tape for Ceteus Industries was actually Lara's father, David. But for us right now, the main portion I wanted to highlight was Tom's explanation of what Sophie really was meant to be.
So the Sophie that we saw from the beginning, was that Simon's creation or was that real Sophie? Like, when did it switch from real life to Simon's companion?
Yeah, so it was the Sophie character was based on a real girl that died in a plane crash. And Simon had taken information from that plane crash and that broadcast of this girl, this billionaire's daughter who died in a plane crash. And then he popped it into his algorithm, and then the algorithm did its magic and turned the whole thing upside down and sort of infested minds and leaked onto the internet and kind of became the series that you saw from the start. So it's super intertwined. There's lots of different links, but that's essentially the origin of Sophie, that she was a person. The Sophie we saw in the series was not real. It gets messy. It gets really messy.
I highly recommend checking out the full interview with Nbird. I'll have it linked in the description below, but there wasn't much else that I felt was especially relevant in explaining my final thoughts and theories on the IAmSophie universe and the story it wanted to tell. Which begs the question, just what was the story? Simon worked for Ceteus Industries prior to Lara starting her YouTube channel, and was talented enough that he was responsible for creating the algorithm that the company would go on to use in the production of their AI companions. During his employment, Simon saw a news article or a broadcast about a millionaire's daughter who had died in a plane crash. In that moment, the announcement didn't mean much to him, but I do think the incident in her face stuck in his mind, even if he didn't know exactly why. At some point, Simon would leave his position at Ceteus Industries, only to become more depressed and filled with self-loathing, as his friendship with Lara failed to progress into anything romantic. In his absence, the algorithm had taken on a life of its own. As Tom said, it began to leak out into the online world, and I think the first mind it infested was Simon's. It took the image of Sophie, someone so polar opposite of Lara and her personality, and manifested its own version of her. It was only after Simon submitted his order to Ceteus, however, that I believe the AI Sophie gained some level of sentience and/or a degree of autonomy, now that there was actually some concrete data for the algorithm to work with. Even Nightmind played around with the idea that there could be a paranormal aspect to this whole thing, but, at least in my opinion, that doesn't really work conceptually with the other themes we've been presented so far. Rather, I think that the Sophie we saw through Ben's recordings was what the AI was seeing. Everything we saw up until Lara's takeover was through the eyes of AI Sophie. What we saw as pixelated, what Lara and anyone else who played the YRP game saw, was a real-life mansion to the AI. She had flesh and blood friends, each with backstories, their own depths and motivations, and even she had her own dreams and aspirations, which is why she ran from Hand of Hate, the physical manifestation of the algorithm, who is trying to reassume control over this potentially rogue AI, forcing it to accept its fate and inevitable transcendence. In the end, though, everything can be traced back to Simon. It was Simon who created the algorithm in the first place. We see the likeness of people in his life juxtaposed over characters in Sophie's life, as the AI struggles to make sense of its environment and its own identity. If Mark was infected after the AI Sophie started her channel, it would make sense why he was confused that she knew who he was and had identified him as a friend from school. It would also explain his behavior when he broke into the mansion and the infestation of worms he was ranting about laying eggs in his brain. By that point, Mark had already been infected by the algorithm and was being used by Hand of Hate as a tool to manipulate Sophie. Sophie and Simon even used the same type of language. At times.
Flamingos, like yourself, are supposed to keep you safe in the eye of a hurricane. Where am I now? You know? Drinking this fucking shit beer, talking to you.
Am I happy? When you're in the middle of a hurricane, you don't get to stop and look around and realise, am I being real? Am I being me?
Also, do you remember the email that was sent to Leon Lush? The one that brought his attention to Sophie's channel in the first place? Yo, Leon, I hope you're good. I saw this today and thought you could make a video on it. She's calling herself the new queen of YouTube, flexing a Lambo, calling herself a businesswoman, but it's all her dad's money. Love your content, bro. Ben. Yes, you heard that right. Sophie's own friend and cameraman, Ben, was the one who sent the email to Leon dragging her, knowing he would go on to make a commentary video criticizing her. This particular piece of the puzzle demonstrates just how much Simon's mind has influenced and shaped Sophie's entire world when you compare it back to the email that he had sent Lara himself.
Yo, Lara. Hope you're doing alright. I got sent a game today and I thought you could make a video on it. It's a game about the new queen of YouTube.
There are so many interconnections and parallels that can be drawn between the timelines, just like the emails, and there are many more instances where Simon's heart is reflected in the YRP game. This was such an amazing story to sink my teeth into, and I thoroughly enjoyed devouring it down to the very last morsel. The cast and crew were all phenomenal and made the series feel so authentic and genuine. You could just feel how much passion was behind this project and how much it meant to everyone involved, and I'm so grateful. Also, a massive thank you to all the wonderful folks on r/IAmSophie who took all the time they did to compile a 200-plus page document chronicling the IAS timeline in depth and cross-referencing all the details against the social media accounts. I appreciate it more than they'll ever know, as my video wouldn't have been possible without their work, but I send my love nonetheless. And a huge thanks to anyone who stuck around this far. It's been a wild ride, and I hope you had as much fun as I did. So, until next time, stay creeped out, my darlings.